Okay. Adding and subtracting polynomials. Adding polynomials is as simple as combining like terms. If you paid attention to the lesson before, then you know what like terms are. I will explain again. Like terms are terms that have the same variable with the same exponent. So in this case, the x squareds would make your like terms. So what I like to do is make different shapes around them. So I'm going to put a square around the x squareds. Then we have just x's, and I can circle those. And then I also have constants, and I'm just going to underline those. So now I know what goes together. So I have 3x and 4x. They're both positive. They're being added. That gives me 7x squared. Then we have a 2x and a 10x. Put those together, and you get 12x. And then we have a negative 6 and a positive 3. Use your calculator if you need to, but that turns out to be negative 3. Okay, so when you're adding like terms, you don't change the exponent. You only combine the ones that are alike. So I'll do one more. This one has a to the third. So I will put a square around that one. If I look across, I have another one over here. Whenever you make a shape around your term, make sure you keep the sign that's in front of it inside the shape so you know what goes with it. I have a 3x squared here and another x squared over here. And then I have a positive 8x and a negative 8x. And I'm just going to put triangles. That way we keep the sign inside. Okay, so our squares go together there. For our term to the third, I have a 4 and a 7. That makes 11x to the third. I have a 3x squared and a 2x squared. Put those together, it becomes 5x squared. And then I have a positive 8x and a negative 7x, which gives me, 1x, which gives me 7x. Very simple. Okay? Now we're going to level up to subtracting, which is not so simple at first, but then gets easier. When you're subtracting polynomials, the first thing you have to do is distribute your negative. So this negative is in front of the parentheses, which means it's kind of like a mailman. It has to deliver a negative to every single term inside the parentheses. And once that's done, it can go home. Okay, so then after you distribute your negative, you're doing the same thing as adding. You're just combining like terms. We have an 8x squared, now a negative 4x squared, a negative 9x, and a negative 7x. And then your constants, positive 5, and that became a negative 1. So if you put them together, this would give you 4x squared. Negative 9 and negative 7 is negative 16x. And positive 5 and negative 1 is positive 4. And that is how you subtract polynomials. Try it on your own. Good luck.